Hey friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and I'm so excited that you decided to take time out of your day to spend with me because today we will be letting a TBR prompt wheel choose my March TBR. And if you don't know, I love a spinning wheel, so I am always excited to do this type of video. And yeah, I think I'm going to pick about 9 or 10 prompts just because I feel like I know there's going to be some books that I am looking to read that are not going to fit into some of these. So yeah, I'm gonna give myself a little room. So let's get into these spins and see what the wheel gives us.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first prompt is a historical book, which was pretty broad, but I'm going to use this as an opportunity to continue a series that I have been wanting to get to, and I just haven't for whatever reason. So for that, I'm going to go with Isabel and the Rogue by Liana de la Rosa. This is the second book in the Lunar Sisters series. And in this one, we follow Isabel, who has long since resigned herself to being the forgotten Luna sister. But thanks to familial connections to the Mexican ambassador in London, Wallflower Isabel is poised to unearth any British intelligence hidden by the Ton that might aid Mexico during the French occupation. Though she slips easily from crowded ballrooms into libraries and private studies, Isabel's search is hampered by trysting couples and prowling rogues, including the rakish Captain Sirius Dawson. So this sounds kind of interesting. We have a little amateur sleuth over here, and this rake, of course, because what's a historical romance without a rake? So yeah, I'm excited to see if I like this one as much as I liked the first book, which was Anna Maria and the Fox. On to the second spin. Okay, prompt number 2 felt a little violent, and we are to pick a book with a weapon on the cover. And for that, I'm going to go with an arc that I have of The Impossible Garden of Clara Thorne by Summer in England. And this book is set to publish on April 7th, so this is a perfect time to go ahead and read the arc and get my thoughts out. And this one is a fantasy romance where we follow Clara Thorne, who wants to live a happily ever after in her beloved town of Moss, magically growing herbs and vegetables and trying to write her book. But fate has other plans when the goddess unexpectedly bestows her with an impossible quest. Clara has 1 month to travel to the cursed and abandoned town of Dwindle and grow them a garden. If she fails, she will be banished. Only Clara's magic doesn't work outside of Moss, a fact she has kept hidden for years. Worse, the goddess has assigned the absurdly sexy, annoyingly cheerful Hesper to keep her safe. Nevertheless, the two can't help but grow close as they make their way across enchanted woods, share one too many tavern beds, and work together to rebuild Dwindle one garden bed at a time. And so, this is giving cozy fantasy. It is giving spring. I mean, just look at the cover. And I'm excited to see what I think about this. Prompt number 3 decided to be nice to me and give me a new release. And I had a time figuring out which new release that I wanted to read, but I ain't even gonna hold you. I have been anxious and ready to read this book since it hit my mailbox, and so I gotta read it now. I don't want to wait. And that is If I Ruled the World by Amy DuBois Barnett. And y'all, This sounds like the perfect Aaron book, and I'm so excited to read it. So it's 1999, and Nikki Rose is the only black editor on the staff of a prestigious fashion magazine she once thought would be her ticket to becoming a respected editor in chief. But after being told one too many times by her boss that black girls don't sell magazines, she quits to take over Sugar, a struggling hip hop music and lifestyle magazine with untapped potential. And friends, this sounds like the movie Brown Sugar, and that happens to be one of my favorite movies ever. So, like, you know, yeah, I'm so excited. So excited. Moving on to spin number 4. So, spin number 4 gave us the prompt of a title with more than 3 words. And so, for that, I'm going to pick yet another arc of a book that is coming out in April. And that is Don't Tell Me How It Ends by Adrienne Thurman. And this is about Kaya, who may not have a plan for her life, but she knows what she won't be doing, falling for somebody's dusty son, promising forever. Period, sis. She'd rather spend the summer after college having disappointing one night stands and watching crime show reruns. At least she won't be caught off guard since she already knows how all those stories end. But when her very pregnant and newly single sister calls for help, Kaya reroutes, stumbling back home to suburban Connecticut and into the business plan of her sister's new matchmaking company. Kaya's views on love remain as bleak as her career prospects, but if becoming the inaugural client can distract her from the existential questions like, what am I even doing with my life? Kaya can suffer through a few bad dates and call it a favor. When Ro Jackson finds Kaya stalled on the side of the road, he isn't put off by her attitude. His steady disposition is Kaya's opposite and makes him exactly what she needs, a friend in town who can handle her just as she is. But as Ro talks Kaya through a summer of failed matches, she finds herself drawn to more than just his poetic outlook and friendship. Cause period. That sounds so good. I don't know what it is about like a matchmaking situation, but I love that.
No.
So spin number 5, the prompt is 2026 priority TBR. Thank you to the spinning wheel for trying to keep me accountable to my 2026 goals. And look, I already know y'all gonna talk shit about me as soon as I hold this book up, because like I said, it's been in every TBR that I have made since it arrived at my mailbox. But I have to keep it in my face to remember that I really do want to read this, and I really do. So I'm just going to make sure it's one of the first books that I read for 2026. So y'all don't have to see this in another TBR video, because I think I might die of shame if I have to hold this book up again and I'm not reviewing it. So, The Island, the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri. It is. We're going to make it happen this time, friend. We gonna make it happen in March. I promise. Pinky promise that this book will be read in March. Okay? Alright, spin number 6, we have a book of the month book. And that is just a book that I have received through my book of the month subscription. Okay. And so for that, I'm going to go with An Academic Affair. This was from the November box that I got, and I am really excited to read this book. It just also sounds like an Aaron book. And in this, we follow Sadie Shaw and Jonah Fisher, who have been academic rivals since they first crossed paths as undergraduates in the literature department 15 years ago. In the cutthroat world of academia, opportunities are scarce and competition is ruthless. Now, postdocs thrust into professional uncertainty, they'll both do anything to find some stability. So, when a highly coveted teaching position comes up, their rivalry hits epic proportions. Jonah needs the job to move closer to his recently divorced sister and her children, while Sadie needs the financial security and freedom of a full-time teaching position. Once Sadie notices that the university offers partner hire, however, she hatches a plot to get them both the job. All they need to do is get legally married. It's a simple win-win solution, but when sparks begin to fly, it becomes clear that despite their education, these two may not have thought this whole thing through. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so prompt number 7 felt the spring vibes, and we got flowers on the cover. And for this one, I have a book that's been sitting on my shelves for a long time that I just haven't read. And I'm gonna tell you why I haven't read it. You know, one of my 2026 goals is to read series more efficiently. And this book is sitting on my shelf so I can read the series efficiently. If I'm not mistaken, the last book in the series comes out this year. So it only made sense to start it when I could finish it. Yeah. And that is This Woven Kingdom by Tahereh Mafi. Alright, my microphone died, but I am back. To all the world, Alize is a disposable servant, never to be known for who she really is, the long-lost heir to the ancient Jinn kingdom. She is hunted always, forced to hide in plain sight, lest she expose herself to danger, until one day she makes a mistake. The Crown Prince Cameron has heard the prophecies. He knows of the fearsome monster promised to kill his king. Darkness is fast descending upon his empire, driving Cameron to desperately seek out its source. But as he grows ever more suspicious of the servant girl with the strange eyes, the more he learns about her, and the harder it is to turn away, even if falling for someone like Alize means forfeiting everything he's ever known. Yeah. Okay, so prompt number 8, is this number 8? Yeah, prompt number 8 decided to do big things and be very nice to me and give me a mood read. And so for that, I'm going to go with yet another arc. If you can't tell, I'm building a TBR of arcs, so you're probably going to get an arc reading vlog in March. And this arc is coming out in May, though. That is Curses, Keys, and Secret Societies, which is book number 2 in the Sisters of Light and Shadow series. And in this one, we're following Aaliyah, who has dreamed of her home in the French countryside for the last 4 years after nearly dying in the Forgotten Forest. But when she finally returns, she finds the estate has become host to the Shadowcraft Academy, an elite graduate school where a world of mysteries and power plays await. It's there she discovers a secret about her magic that's not just a threat to the established order, but a prophecy that could change everything. What's worse, her father is the school's enigmatic and ruthless headmaster with an agenda of his own, one that could tear their world apart if she can't find a way to stop him. As alliances shift and her power is tested, Aaliyah becomes torn between Alex, her stoic first love, whose loyalties are as murky as his past, and the brash, irreverent Logan, who challenges her to see herself in new ways. Faced with her father's schemes, a secret society, and the weight of her own magic, Aaliyah must decide, will she Will she embrace her fate or fight to reclaim her power and forge her own path? And the spinner wheel continues to be nice to me. Spin number 9, I think, was a 5-star prediction. And, yeah, we need this. So for this prompt, I'm going to pick Tell Me I'm Not Dreaming by Monique Fisher. And this is about 4 best friends, one trip to New Orleans, and no clue what the Big Easy has in store for them. It's a rom-com anthology about 4 women taking a chance on love and learning to embrace their fates with open arms. So after an adventurous vacation exploring New Orleans, 4 best friends decide to visit a sidekick. When she predicts that each of them will find true love in the new year, they don't believe it, but they soon discover they will not be denied. And so I'm really excited to see what I think of this. I think the setup of it is going to be very interesting with the anthology setup, and we are getting essentially 4 short stories / novellas of this friend group, so they'll all be interconnected and all of that. Yeah, I'm just excited. I think it's gonna be good, and I can't wait to share this with you because I hadn't seen anybody talk about it yet. All right, spin number 10, which I said I was only going to do about 10 prompts, but I lied. I think I'm going to do a couple more. This is just fun. I'm having a fun time, so we're going to add in a couple more. And so for spin number 10, we got audiobook. And as I was looking through the list of audiobooks, I decided that I wanted to immersive read this book, and so I'm going to count it for the audiobook prompt because I'll be listening to it, but I'm also going to be physically reading it as well. And that is Masquerade by O.O. Sangoyami, another TBR vet. Set in a wonderfully reimagined 15th century West Africa, Masquerade is a dazzling lyrical tale exploring the true cost of one woman's fight for freedom and self-discovery and the lengths she'll go to secure her future. It's loosely based on the myth of Persephone and takes you on a journey of epic power struggles and political intrigue, which can turn an entire region on its head. And so I knew that reading this, it was going to have a lot of African words in it, and I knew that my brain was going to mispronounce them, and that was going to bother me. So I always knew that whenever I did pick this book up, it was going to be along with the audiobook. So that's what we're going to do for that. Yeah, and I think I'm only going to do 2 more spins because that'll give me 12, and I kind of like that. So let's just do 2 more. Spin number 11. No. Yeah. Okay. So I got a green cover. Green happens to be one of my favorite colors ever. Now, never thought I'd be a green girl, but I am. But what I've always known is that I was indecisive. And so I couldn't decide which of these 2 books I wanted to put on my TBR because I'm interested in reading them both. So that's what I'm going to do because it's my TBR, my channel, and I do what I want. So the first book for the green cover is going to be Beautiful Things by Emily Rath. This is the first book in the Second Sons series. And in this, we follow Rosalie, who is unmarried and near destitute at 22. She has 2 choices: snag a wealthy gentleman or take work as a governess. Neither option appears to headstrong Rosalie, who sees both futures as a kind of cage. When Rosalie receives an invite to Alcott Hall, she believes she's there to meet the Dowager Duchess of Norland, the mysterious childhood friend of her late mother. Instead, Rosalie is thrust in the middle of a house party of eligible high society ladies, all desperate to win the hand of the new conveniently single Duke. Hilarity ensues as Rosalie dodges the attention of the officious Duke and weathers the censure of the other guests, all while trying to unravel the mystery of her invitation. And then there's the gentleman. The more Rosalie tries to avoid the high society husband hunt, the more she finds herself charmed by three very different men. There's Lord James, the Duke's younger brother, who is the secret Duke in all but name, Lieutenant Renly, recently returned from the West Indies and begrudgingly looking for a wife of his own, and the tempestuous Mr. Burke, who irks Rosalie to no end. This is going to be a historical who I choose, if you cannot tell. And it just sounds fun. And the second book that I am going to pick for the green prompt is going to be Fang Fiction by Kate Stayman London. And this is about Tess Rosenblum, who is no stranger to the dark, an assault survivor and grad school dropout. Tess spends her nights managing a chic Brooklyn hotel and her days reading her favorite vampire novels, Blood Feud. She even dabbles in online conspiracies claiming Blood Feud is real. It's fun to hunt for clues. But deep down, Tess doesn't believe vampires actually exist until one walks through her door. It turns out the sexy villain of Blood Feud is trapped, and only Tess can rescue him. Eager to escape her life, Tess agrees to help, and soon she's on a secret island where the sun never shines, surrounded by deadly vampires, and most terrifyingly of all, she is falling in love with one of them. And back in New York, Tess's estranged best friend is having a sapphic paranormal affair of her own. Visiting the world of your favorite story is any fan's dream, but can Tess outrun the demons of her past and vampires of her present before that dream becomes a nightmare? Vampires and bookish? Yeah. For our final prompt, we received a book published in the 2020s. And am I fudging this a little bit? Probably so, because this book isn't published yet, but it will be published in May of 2026. So I think it counts. And this is an arc for a book called Double Happiness by Heather Ng. I think I'm saying that correctly. When Mei Lee runs into Andre Brodeur at a family function, there is no denying their chemistry. It turns out that Andre, whose brother is married to Mei's younger sister, is back in town rebuilding his life after 2 decades toiling away in academic research. Somehow, Andre is different from the young scientist Mei met years ago. His intelligent eyes and quiet air of mystery have a magnetic effect, drawing her in like never before. But Mei's carefully constructed life has no room for Andre. Yo, I've been saying Andre, and this man's name is Alexandre. What? Alexandre is this man's name, and I've just been reading it wrong for all that time, but whatever. But Mei's carefully constructed life has no room for Alexandre. She's engaged to Joey, a fellow Queens native who keeps her grounded as she pulls 80-hour weeks at Livin, the tech world's hottest startup. After a childhood marked by financial and emotional turmoil, Mei finally has the stability she's always craved. In Mei's brief moments away from her crushing workload, Alexandre is an uncomfortably enticing presence. It doesn't take long for their thoughtful conversations and his electric gaze to get under her skin, leaving Mei to wonder what she really wants in work, life, and love. With her wedding date fast approaching, Mei has to make an impossible choice between 2 very different men, and after she does, she still must figure out what it truly means to have it all. And this sounds like it could be messy, and I love a messy book, but I'm hoping it's not a cheating book because I don't do cheating. So I'm gonna have to let y'all know before it comes out what the reality on this situation is, because we gotta do it right. All right. And that was my 12 spins. But y'all know me. And there were some books that are looking at me on my shelves. We looking at each other. And they didn't make it to this stack. So I'm just gonna add them to the stack. Am I gonna read all these books Absolutely not. Unless something crazy happens, I will not be reading. I don't read every book that I put on my TBR every month. The Owl and the Silver Sea is a testament to that. But they were looking at me when I was looking at my shelves. So I'm gonna run through these pretty quick. I'm not even gonna give you like a full synopsis on these, but don't be surprised if they turn up in a video. Okay. So the first one I've already started. So it's a carryover technically, and that is Merciless Saviors by H.E. Edgman, the last book in the Ouroboros series. Also, another TBR vet. Y'all have heard me talk about this at least last month and probably January too. I'm not even gonna hold you, but I've started it. So we making progress, friends. So yeah, and then we have The Shadow Cabinet by Juno Dawson, the second book in the HMRC series. And I really loved Her Majesty's Royal Coven when I read it last year. And I feel like I just need to go ahead and continue this series before I start forgetting stuff. You know what I'm saying? And this is a finished series. And so I just need to go ahead and finish it. And in this, we follow a group of childhood friends and witches who must choose between what's right and what's easy if they have any hope of keeping their world from tearing apart forever. I love witchy stuff. Y'all know this. Y'all know I love a witchy book. So yeah, that one's been looking at me. And then also, Long Live Evil by Sarah Reese Brennan. Yeah, and this is another book where we have a person going into the world of their favorite books, and it says, as her whole life collapses, Ray still has books. Dying, she seizes a second chance at life, a magical bargain that lets her into the world of her favorite fantasy series. We have Favorite Star by Rebecca Roanhorse, the second book in the Between Earth and Sky series. It follows Black Sun. And, you know, same kind of deal as most of the others. I just need to read this before I start forgetting stuff. I really enjoy Black Sun, and I definitely want to continue the series and, you know, make sure I read it close enough to where I'm not missing details, because there was a lot of details in Black Sun and you had to be paying attention. And so, yeah, I need to go ahead and read this. And lastly, we have Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I'm very surprised that I did not get to this book last year, because I'm usually reading them as they come out, but something just told me to hold on. But I love this series, and I am just, you know, in need of a little comfort read, and this is a comfort series for me. So yeah, I'm ready to get back to Kingsley and Evie and the villain and see what kind of shenanigans they getting up to before the fourth book comes out later on this year. And I'm done. I'm done. This is a mess. This is absolutely a mess. I'm not reading all these books, but I love making TBR, so that's what we're gonna do. This is fun. I had fun. I hope you had fun. And I've been yapping for a long time, so I'm not even gonna hold you any longer. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. Anything that you do to support me and my channel, friend, you know I greatly appreciate it. I hope you have the best day that you possibly can. Remember to take care of yourself. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.